morning, everybody. I'm Kira. I work in Connections at Gold Creek.
And I'm Krista, and I am the database administrator at Gold Creek.
Thanks for joining us this morning. We're excited to be talking through the Bible with you. Krista and I are big fans of This Is Us, and you can find us most weekdays talking about the Pearson family. So it's cool to dive into the Bible and actually talk about Noah and his family and those kinds of things. So thank you for joining us. Also wanted to share, I know a lot of you are doing the YouVersion Bible app. I use the hard copy of the 1 Year Bible. I love to sit with my coffee in the morning with my pencil. And so just wanted you to know that this is available if that might be a route you like to go if you're not sort of an app person. But this is a really fun way to do it too as well. So Krista, day 4, we had Genesis 8, 9, and 10, which was kind of a big revelation for Noah and his family at the end of the flood and the covenant, the rainbow that God put in the sky. So what struck you about this?
Well, I've had a lot of loss in the last year. 2020 hit my family really hard in that way. And after my sister-in-law passed, I saw a double rainbow in the sky. So it has a special meaning, and it was fun to read through that again.
As I understand a covenant, is like a relational promise. So it's not a promise, but it might involve like an oath or a sign or a ceremony. So it's kind of a big promise from God. And where he said, this is a sign of my covenant. That's what the rainbow is. So I just think that's such cool imagery. I had a similar experience. It's going on 10 years now, when we were up in Whistler, and it was exactly 2 weeks after my dad had passed away with that raw, just fresh, terrible grief. And I had promised my boys the year before that I would go to the Peak to Peak, do that ride across the valley there. And I don't like heights, so I didn't want to do it. But we were going to be doing it on a Saturday. Weren't able to, so we headed up on a Sunday, and I was not excited. And we got up to the top of this mountain, getting ready to get off and do the Peak to Peak. And there was this magnificent rainbow. And I don't know if you've been up to Whistler in that valley, and just the magnificence and how spectacular it was. It was just, it just was God's promise and beauty. And also just this of, I'm with you in those times of grief. And he put that rainbow in the sky. So I was grateful for that timing. So
how special.
Yeah.
In Genesis, another thing that I came across, I'm super confused, and I'm not sure why in the Bible they talk about all these lineages and just so-and-so is the father of so-and-so, and how they go through those lists. But then there's a lot of people that aren't ever listed again in the Bible. And so I've always said that it would be fun to map out, all the different families and how they're all connected. But I just don't know how those all fit together.
That'd be a big family tree to be drawing.
And, I've always joked with my family, I'm like, I just would love to just map that out.
The other thing that was, I had a question about, and that was with, Noah's son, Ham, I guess. And he had seen his father naked and then told the brothers, and they went back in and covered it up. And then so Noah ended up cursing Canaan. And it was like, was it the fact that he told the brothers? Was it the fact that he saw that Noah? I wasn't quite sure what that was about. So that was one thing that I wasn't quite sure about the answer on that.
I'm not sure either.
Yes, but and then so Matthew 4, just such a cool experience with Jesus saying to Simon, Peter, and Andrew, and then James and John, "Come, follow me." And I read that 13 times he says, "Follow me." So boy, that just must have been a cool experience to be fishing, and then here comes Jesus. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's always blows me away how they were just willing to get up and leave their boats and leave their families and just immediately walk away. And I just hope that, I have that same, chasing after Jesus and following him and the relationship with him.
Yeah. I think I remember a sermon by Pastor Dan where he said that they're leaving what they knew, the fishing of fish, and becoming fishers of people, and at once and immediately. And it's like, wow, that has to, for me, that's hard to do, the at once immediately piece of it. I like to overthink things. So, but I appreciated that, just the invitation of Jesus, come and follow me. Psalm 4, also what that stood out to me there was the don't sin by letting anger control you. Think about it overnight and remain silent. I think those kind of have become tried and true words these days, whether it's a marriage or a coaching relationship or talking about your kids, just write it down, type the email, but don't send it and wait. So that kind of struck a chord with me.
Yeah, that's definitely a good piece of advice
Yep.
from the Bible.
Yep. And what struck you there in Psalm 4?
So I highlighted 7 and 8. You have given me greater joy than those who have abundant harvests of grain and new wine. In peace I lie down and sleep, for you alone, O Lord, will keep me safe. And it's just such a comforting verse. He's always there to protect us and keep us safe.
And that's what I love. It's even if it's maybe not the entire psalm or the entire whatever, you get that little snippet that just really speaks to your heart, those words that you feel like you just need to hear that are so reassuring. And I think that's what's so cool about doing the 1-year Bible. It just seems those words come alive really on the day you need them. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
And I've read through it so many times and I'm continuing to find new pieces of, hope and love and peace. And I just am really enjoying this journey.
And then finally, Proverbs 1:20, wisdom shouting in the streets. How long, you simpletons, will you insist on being simple-minded? I like the double whammy of the simple. But it says, come and listen to my counsel, and goes on to say, I'll share my heart with you and make you wise. And I loved this kind of end to this day where it's an invitation, again, almost like the come follow me, come and listen, and I'll share my heart and make you wise. And just what encouragement for all of us if we can just share our hearts, if we can the wisdom that we can gain from sharing with each other and opening our hearts and letting other people in.
Yeah. So if you have any questions or comments about these Bible verses today, go ahead and leave them in the comments there. Yep. And we hope that you're enjoying this journey.
Yeah. And I have one thing I wanted to share about a rainbow, being as we are in the Northwest. And so I wanted to close it out with this. It's an atmospheric optical phenomenon that can be seen in the sky right after it rains. And we have a lot of that experience here. When the sun is shining behind the viewer and there are no clouds blocking the view. Within a rainbow, sunlight is separated into a spectrum of colors that appear to the naked eye after colliding with water droplets within the air. This is why rain is necessary in order to see a rainbow. And the viewer must be in the perfect position in order to spot it. And I love that so much because to me, it's just so God that it's not just he puts that sign of his covenant in the sky, but that we have to be at the exact right place with the right atmospheric conditions to see it. And, I think in not just this phenomenon, but, the other things when you go to the grocery store and you park as far away as you can, but you still run into the friend that you haven't seen for 2 years, or at church that morning when you're running late, but then you see the friend that you maybe haven't talked to for a long time that you haven't, that is going through a hard time. And God puts us, the viewers and the people, in the perfect position to spot the things that he has for us. And, from your experience with the rainbow, my experience with the rainbow, and just our everyday life. So just let's keep looking for those things. Let's see look around and say, hey, I thank God for being in the perfect spot to see what we get to see through him. So thank you for joining us today. Thank you, Krista.
Thank you.
Yeah, super fun.